Hey guys, and welcome back to Prophecy Unfolding. You're so welcome. Are we starting to see a crash in the economy? Are we starting to see the fruition of all the mistakes from before? Are we seeing the beast system start to roll into play? When we look at the beast system, what are the three main things in order for this beast system that we see to succeed? The three areas to control the masses, and this is what I wanted to do today. I want to keep it short, keep it brief, and then you go check out after I tell you what it's going to be, and you'll see how they can actually do it. If it's your first time here, you're welcome, guys. Stick around and hear what these three key indicators are, and then go look yourself at the two major companies who control all of that interest. Have a look at this, guys, and I'll see you on the other side.
We're going to turn to another wipeout on Wall Street, part of a steep slide that's seen the Dow Jones drop over 4,000 points since the beginning of the year. And while the Dow goes down, gas prices keep going up.
The worst financial crisis in modern times. Certainly the largest financial disaster in decades in this country, and perhaps the end of an era in American business.
As you can see, more and more these things are beginning to happen. Many are questioning what's happening within the stock markets and crashing. We're seeing an inflation in terms of the cost of living in every area. We're seeing things starting to escalate more and more. You know, when we look at the big system and what's actually going to happen, we have to sometimes look at history and what way the dictators look to take control of people. What did they have to do? The first thing they did was to try to control all the resources, and today that will be the likes of the fuel and the energy and even technology, where they have full control over it all. And today we see that happens, that it's only a few companies that actually own a majority of all of that infrastructure, that many of the smaller companies make up just a small portion, that it's owned by just a couple of big entities, generally speaking two major investment groups that own all the big corporations. The second thing that they look to try control is the food. If you control the food, you actually control the people. And now more than ever, we're seeing inflation costs and the prices of everything going through the roof, which means the people even in the middle, as we would call them, the middle class and the lower class, are getting less for their dollar or less for their euro. So it just means that the more money that they would have today, actually the less that you can buy compared to 30 years ago. And it's only going to get worse. You know, I look at the scripture in Revelation 6:6, where it talks about it be a day's wage for a loaf of bread, which means inflation and the actual cost of everything goes through the roof. But this is used to control the people. And tying into that as well, the third thing that they would look to control is the finance, whether it be cash, whether it be gold, silver, anything that is of value. They will dictate to try control, because if they have control of the finance, they also have control of the people. And we've seen recently with a lot of the digital currencies online, a lot of them are starting to crash. They don't like it because they don't have control of it. They want something that they can create, that they have full control, which means the wealthy get wealthier. When you put these three together, if you control the infrastructure, the food and the money, you essentially control people. Obviously, with the cost of inflation at the moment and how things are increasing, it looks like Revelation, where it's going to get so costly to live, whether it be fuel or energy or food. It's making it much, much harder. And what will happen eventually, a day will come when someone will offer the right answers. Because when you offer people money and security and food, they will do anything that person says. And those three keys are the three key essentials in order for a dictator or a world dominance to actually happen. They're the three things that we need to look at, whether it be the infrastructure, who owns it, who's in charge, food, who's the biggest ones that own most of the food, that control the food, whether it be logistics or growing the food, and the same when it comes to cash. And I believe that we're living in a time where we're seeing it all amalgamate, because there is only a few companies, investment companies, and I'll let you do your research. I won't even go into it. There's two main investment companies that own a majority of everything. I believe that we're truly seeing the beast system come to fruition, but we as believers do not be afraid of the things that we see in the world. And I have to tell myself over and over to not let it kind of press on me that maybe I won't have enough, maybe I won't have enough, or maybe I won't be able to supply this or supply that. That we truly have to trust in Christ, to actually supply all of our needs. Some people can prepare and stock up, a lot of people can't. For me, I believe no matter what happens, God will supply our needs. But we need to be excited about the times that we live in, because we are truly getting close. Remember, guys, regardless of what goes on in the world, as I said, I'll keep this short, but God is always in control, and keep the faith.